Hey everyone, Catch 'em All Collectibles here. In today's video, we will talk about how one set of data, one set of information, one true reality can be shown in various different ways to push whatever narrative one wants to. I never tried to influence on this channel. I try to only encourage people to do their own thinking, think for themselves, and determine what they'll do for their collection, their business, whatever they're doing in the space. I want them to be able to advance towards their goals, whatever they are, more readily, more informed. And in this video, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to recap. So earlier in the year, I recapped Q1, Q2 sales on Fanatics Live, primary selling platform for this year. And this is going to be the Q3 recap. Q3, so it's going to be July, August, September sales from the live stream. PK Ponga over on Fanatics, affiliate link down in the description below. But I'm going to frame it in two different ways. I've been running some experiments. Some of you, let me know in the comments below. Did you click on a primarily green line goes up thumbnail, or did you click on a primarily red line goes down thumbnail? I made both. Many of my videos I've made recently, upcoming video, many of my videos I've made two thumbnails and two titles. I've made one very pessimistic, red lines, one optimistic, green lines. Let me know what you clicked on in this video. About half of you will be fed it, and then whichever one you guys like more, YouTube will stick with that for the long term. But anyways, I've got one live stream operation, and depending on what, if I wanted to spin a narrative, I'm going to show you how I could do that. So we're going to jump right in with chart one. So if you clicked on, I think we go green line first. So if we go green line first, this is just true actual data from our live stream operation. So this is GMV by month for all of 2025 through the end of September. October's incomplete, obviously, as this comes out, as I'm recording. But might be hard to see depending on what you're on. But 400,000 is like the high watermark for the chart. We've never been that high. We're in the low mid threes as of last month. But you can see early in the year, before PK was full-time, I have and I will provide some context for why some of these numbers are where they're at. But January, PK wasn't even full-time yet. February was his first full-time month, and we had a steady scale up. January, February, March, it was straight up rocket emoji, no need for refueling, no need for anything. And then we had kind of a hangover, we had kind of a lull. March, we ended with a massive stream. But anyways, was it summer slowdown? Was it this, that? PK Ponga both individually traveled a little bit. A lot of nuance, a lot of conversation could go into this, but where does it end? August, September, the two strongest months by GMV. So if you click that green thumbnail at the start of this video, it was well deserved, right? It is all rocket emojis. I could have made the title. I could have made one title with only one thumbnail. Record live selling sales. The Pokemon market is just getting started. Look at the jump from July to August into September. I haven't included October, but trust me, if and when I do a recap down the line, including all of Q4 sales of 2025, October is doing big numbers relative to August and September. Maybe I'll get in towards the end of the video why I might not do all the videos in the same format, and people, astute observers, might understand why, because like context and framing always matters. But here's our Pokemon is booming. It's only going higher. As I said, our October is going to be significantly higher than September is. So rocket emojis justified. But let's go. If you commented red below, if you got Pokemon market is heading to zero, and with this, obviously, I could do a trend line. I could do a trend line that just goes this way, right? That just goes to the moon. I could put a nice rocket ship emoji on the trend line, and I could have a moon at the end, put a Moonbreon up there, all kinds of crazy things. What about the dark side of it? Same stream, same exact data. One thing that I've had people asking me, if you've been following me for a long time, if you've been following me for this 1 year, we've been on the live streams. I used to do on Instagram, I used to do every month. Sometimes I did it a couple weeks here and there. How many packs we were selling by a week? And there were weeks where we sold 5,000-6,000 packs. I think our highest week we sold 8,000 packs. Well, look at this one. Red thumbnail clickers. rejoice because this is why we had the red thumbnail. Look at this, monthly packs sold. So it says monthly packs sold. Further context, further, we only used to sell English. We didn't really have much Japanese. We didn't have any Chinese. We didn't, like, we sold, one thing that we've prided ourselves in is the wide variety of packs that we've always offered. We've had every pack in stock, almost every stream. Things will go out here and there. PK Ponga hits me up. Boom, I get more packs to him. But for most, 99% of the time, we've had every pack from Sword Shield base to current. Back when we started, current was Surging Sparks. Currently, current is Mega Evolution. We've had all of them in stock all the time. 9-pack, 36-pack, 100-pack, 500-pack lots. Each are hot out. We peaked in March. That March where we had our first peak here on GMV, it coincided with the most packs we had ever sold at that point. English booster packs. And April was kind of down. May, Destined Rivals, big number in May. And since Destined Rivals came out, Black Bolt, White Flare, you've got Mega Evolution. Numbers are still solid, but we actually, September, our lowest ever. Our lowest ever this year. Since I've been tracking it on a month-by-month basis, our lowest ever. Well, I could use that to spin a narrative of if I cared to influence people, if I wanted to get inside your head, if I wanted to say like, hey, trend line, it intersects with 0. The trend line intersects with 0. We are headed to just the Pokemon market will cease to exist. No one is buying anything anymore. Whether it's 6, 8, 10 months from now, right? When this trend line intersects with 0. Context. We added Chinese, and I don't have those numbers in here because one thing that I have been trying to do, I've been wrapping my mind around like, okay, well, January into February, I need to provide people context and nuance that like PK went full time, so it's not apples to apples. So January to February, I feel the need to say like, hey, this isn't the market alone that caused our GMV to do this. This isn't the market alone that caused our packs to go from 11,000, 12,000 packs to 18,000 packs. I felt the need to say like, hey, PK went full time. And then in March, it's like, well, we had one mega stream on the final day of March where Fanatics gave us some incentives to push a big number. And we did $60,000 in one day. And then April was this and May was this. And it's like, disclaimer Dan gets in the way sometimes. But without it too, honestly, I feel irresponsible to publish this chart alone without context. I feel irresponsible to publish this chart alone without context. Oh, well, Dan, you only don't want to post this one because you don't want people to see how bad your live streams are struggling. Well, are they? The GMV is higher than ever, but the pack rips are lower. And why is that? Chinese. Some amount of that is Chinese. Some amount of that is we've been doing a lot more vintage box breaks. We did some of those earlier in the year. Those were captured in like auctions. Those were captured in auction sales, not through here. We sell a lot of vintage packs, Japanese packs, XY Sun Moon era packs. We sell Japanese base decks and things like that. We sell them in the buy it now. We haven't been auctioning them for the past several months, but we've been doing them in the buy it now. So the GMV goes up because the average pack price goes up. Another thing, the market's booming. Back in fueling our 20,000 packs plus in March, we probably sold 6,000 packs of Crown Zenith at $6 a pack back then, right? Before they went to the moon. Or I forget the exact month when that was, but the context, the layers of the disclaimers, the layers of like explaining why it isn't apples to apples. It's just, it's hard for me to mentally put it out there, feel like I'm doing the right thing as to contextualizing it all. I know if I throw it on Instagram brain, TikTok brain, people just won't. People don't want to. People will refuse to actually rub their brain cells together and come up with anything meaningful from it. So more and more, I'm finding in the coming days, weeks, months, years, I hope to add another streamer. Things will ebb and flow. We've got eBay Live. We do certain things on eBay Live. You got Spat over there primarily. Sky a little bit here and there. Ponga's done a couple over on eBay Live. there's just so many moving parts to this. In a perfect world, I would have loved for some of these things to be like apples to apples. I would have loved for me to be able to see month by month, here's prismatic sales, January, February, March, April. We're just not selling things in the same way. I made a video before. Fanatics Live Instant Rips is probably the single largest contributor because to some extent, when we sell instant rips, we're not selling packs or we're not selling them as much. We've done a couple nights where both PK and Pongo were live, one of them instant ripping, one of them analog ripping as opposed to the digital ripping, right? We've done nights where both are running, and we've had some nights where both are going really well. But a lot of the GMV is being fueled by like instant rips and things of that nature. And to some extent, that's cannibalizing our pack sales. And what does that amount to? Well, that amounts to having had a record month, a record quarter even, and yet a record low quarter for pack sales. So I'll talk about it more next week, and I'll show you a new tab on my website. Maybe you'll find that before I talk about it in next week's video. But next week's video, I'm going to talk about why I'm wholesaling out 20, 30, maybe 40,000 packs of my 100,000 booster packs. Is it because the market's going to zero? Or is it because we're shifting in a way where we're still selling a lot of packs? We're still on pace to sell nearly 200,000 this year, depending on how things go. But instant rips, gearing up towards that. More conversations to come on that. But I wanted to just provide a video where I show that, like, I could have made a much flashier video. I think if I were a better YouTuber, if my sole goal was clicks and views and emotion and drama and things like that, I would have just made this video or this video. But the disclaimer damn thing to do is to mash them into, take two things that could be kind of viral, make them butt heads and turn them into the most antiviral thing to just hopefully educate and inform, if that makes sense. Hopefully people follow along with that. More data. Dan, shut up. You're being way too disclaimery. Just tell us how many packs sold like you used to. We missed that data. We missed that information. I've gotten a lot of DMs, a lot of messages about like, Dan, I really miss when you used to do we sold this many packs this month. And I promise, I've had some people message me like, oh, our pack sales terrible and you don't want to talk about it. Our pack sales too good and you don't want to talk about it. Like, are you intentionally not talking about it? Trying to obscure things from public view so that like people can't see you struggling or performing well? It's, I guess, going back, struggling to sell packs, performing really well, the best we ever have. So it's kind of like a little bit of both, right? But that's not the reason that I'm not showing it. The reason that I'm not showing it is my brain is just incapable of figuring out all the layers of nuance I'll have to add to this to put people with the right, to put people on the right path to take the right things away from it. But at some point, it's just like I'm being unreasonable in my expectations for what people will do with it. And I think I'm being unreasonable in like trying to not misguide people. That said, somebody in the comments will be like, Dan's shilling, pumping, doing... Never am I trying to do any of those things. But so this is all inclusive. The main video is talking about Q3 sales, talking about Q3 pack sales being low, Q3 GMV being high. But this is, and obviously these did show everything too. But I will show you for the year, our top 5, if you can't read them: Prismatic, Destined, 151, Crown, and Paldea Evolved. You have Paldean Fade, Surging Sparks, Fusion Strike, Twilight Masquerade, and Mega Evolution, rounding out the top 10. Mega Evolution, quite a new set. It is in the 10th spot, and it is rising quite quickly. Just to demonstrate that, this is Q3 pack sales. I know we went from top down, now we're side scrolling here. Mega Evolution of Q4. Sorry, of Q3, Mega Evolution is our #1 pack seller. After that, we have Destined Rivals, Crown Zenith, 151 English, and White Flare, actually. Black Bolt is a little bit more expensive. I think it's a little bit more expensive because generally it's just been a little bit more popular, whatever it may be. We were out of Black Bolt for a little bit there. So again, like Dan needing to provide context as to why it's not necessarily apples to apples. I think our availability of White Flare has been a little bit higher than that of Black Bolt. So is it a fair comparison to say that White Flare is outselling Black Bolt? And in certain days, if you could see Pokemon Go, was Pokemon Go given a fair shot? I know, talking with PK, talking with Ponga, there are certain sets that just don't really sell. I'll talk about next week ones that disproportionately, there are certain sets that I have a decade's worth of inventory. I mean, Pokemon Go, if I have one pack based off the last quarter sales, if I have one pack in inventory, we've sold 0 in the last quarter, I have infinity. I have a lifetime supply of Pokemon Go packs at our rate of 0 quarterly sales, right? So several packs, I have years or decades worth of inventory. Some sets, I have days or weeks or a month barely worth of inventory. So next week's video, we'll talk more about that. It'll talk about my inventory levels versus my sales levels versus the sales that are starting to go down and the sales that are starting to go up. I think it's all fun, interesting information. Hopefully people had something interesting they found in that video. Anyways, Monday, Hot Buy List. Every Monday, Hot Buy List is updated. Check my website. There's a new tab on the website. I'm not going to talk about it yet, but next week's video will address that directly. I'm always buying. Every Monday, I'm always buying. Coming soon, maybe I'm wholesaling. Well, we'll talk next week. 80% on any sealed Sword Shield Scarlet Violet booster box case or ETB case minimum. If you've got something better is sometimes not necessarily actually better art, better chase, better Pokemon, higher number. Sometimes better is like, I have less of that, I want more of that. Sometimes better, and again, this is Dan contextualizing things, where better isn't an objective term. Better just means like, hey, if I have only 2 cases of this and I have 12 cases of that, I'm going to pay slightly lower percentage, but still 80% on any case from Sword Shield Scarlet Violet era. And if it's something I want a little bit more, maybe an Evolving Skies, higher price, I have less of them, maybe I'll pay you 85%, maybe towards 90% on certain things. So reach out. The cases are more like I comp them individually. TCG Player low list, eBay low list, last sold, some combination of that. I throw you out how I identify market and then what my percentage, what my rate would be. Process for selling to me. You send first, I pay with ACH, Zelle, friends and family. Or if you don't trust me, goods and services. You pay the fee. Like my offer is the same. I'm not gonna pay the fee because like I'm offering a fee-free option. PayPal, friends and family, fully insured. You ship to my PO box. You ship to PK. You ship to Ponga. Fully insured inbound as long as you add signature, and I pay out at those rates mentioned. And then check my website because Lost Origin for this week, Evolving Skies for this week, $10, $28, easy. Evolving Skies, that's like 90%. Lost Origin, that's like 85% or something. All XY. I am, as I said earlier, our total packs sold has gone down some. But one thing that I'm consciously trying to do, our buyers, we've ripped 150,000+ packs. What was the number actually? We've ripped, let me get the, actually, I didn't give the cumulative number. We've ripped, 150,000 packs this year. And so we're going to fall short of that 200 to 250, I believe, depending on how things go. When it comes to just the English packs. But one, like we've ripped a lot of, we've ripped Moonbreons, we've ripped Charizard SARs, we've ripped God packs. We haven't ripped much XY Sun Moon. And we've had more and more buyers like, hey, can you get some of these sets we haven't seen? So that's why I'm paying 80% on across the board. I'm paying 80% on any XY Sun Moon set, loose, unweighed, untampered packs, all that good stuff. I have ways of checking and knowing all that. But I think that's everything for today. Give me, again, earlier you told me whether you had green or red on your thumbnail. At the end of the day, so you're in closing, do you think these numbers that I shared with you, do you think these were generally bullish or generally bearish for the hobby? I am, it's a broad, diverse hobby, disclaimer Dan. I think certain things are going to go up. I think certain things are going to go down. And I think certain things are going to flat. One thing I will hop off the fence for, one thing I will quickly hop off the fence for, I am very, very bullish on my own operation. I am very, very bullish on the independent contractors that I'm working with. PK Ponga absolutely crushing it. Spat doing his thing over on eBay Live. Sky here and there as well on eBay Live and Fanatics. I'm looking to really pump up the hours out of some of those independent contractors. and really bullish on. So let me know. I don't think I gave the action item. Give me bullish or bearish. Was this data bullish or bearish for the hobby? I think it's indifferent to the hobby, but I think it's bullish for the operation. I think record numbers will be set. They are being set this year already. 2025 has vastly exceeded expectations. It's vastly exceeded anything I could have imagined, and I think 2026 will be a significantly bigger year, regardless of what the market does, because of the great independent contractors I've surrounded myself with. So yeah, I appreciate everyone watching as always. I will catch you all later.